So the first mistake I often see with uh, trades and construction businesses is just that, doing your own bookkeeping. And there's nothing wrong with doing your own bookkeeping, particularly if you're good at it, but it is a common trap for trades and construction. And the reason is that bookkeeping is the backbone of your business finances. So if you don't feel you know enough about accounting and finance and you're doing your own bookkeeping, it'd be me saying to myself, look, I don't know enough about construction and I'm going to build my own house. It's a similar sort of analogy there. And getting it right, bookkeeping that is the easiest way to gain financial visibility about your business's finances. Um, so I'll just run through this. The common mistakes that I see here, we've got a chart, sorry, a table there, 1, 2, 3. So one is financial transactions. So sales equals income in your chart of accounts, and that goes through to the income statement or profit and loss on your financial reports. Materials and subcontract labor, often categorized as cost of goods sold, and that again goes through to the profit and loss statement. And things like utilities, insurance, rents, and sometimes salaries are categorized as overhead expenses or expenses, and that also goes through the profit. Whereas things like purchasing equipment, so you might buy a new truck or trailer or piece of equipment for your business, that's an asset which goes to the balance sheet. You might take out a loan, which is, maybe you bought that equipment under a chattel mortgage or something like that, and that is a liability that again goes through to the balance sheet. And when you take money from the business, that is most often equity, which again goes through to which goes onto the balance sheet. So accounts can be thought of as categories, and not knowing the difference between profit and loss accounts and balance sheet accounts can often lead to misallocations. And we'll talk about that in the fifth biggest mistake a bit later on, why that's an issue. So the common mistakes I see with doing your own bookkeeping is not fully understanding how the software works, overcomplicating the chart of accounts. As an example there, I looked at a clients when they're coming on board, profit and loss in MyOb, and they had 34, 35 motor vehicle expense accounts. They had 5 vehicles, and fuel, repairs, registration, insurance, and oil, I think it might have been. Each vehicle had an account for its own expense. So when you looked at the profit and loss, it was just this sort of 3-page profit and loss, which was just a mess. There's no need to overcomplicate the chart of accounts with that. Not reconciling bank and credit card statements. So, for example, if you don't know how to reconcile something, you'll just leave it there and not address it. Not reviewing the financial reports regularly. Bookkeeping inexperience. Improper categorizing of GST. Coding payments to yourself as an expense, and not keeping receipts and records. That's quite not many trades and construction business owners love keeping detailed records, but that is an issue. And if any of you are sole traders, the other biggest mistake is not having a profit business bank account. So sometimes when you're a sole trader, you just run your business through your general revenue household account, and then that just makes the process of working out how your business going, so much more complicated, because you have to unpack the private expenses and separate them from the business expenses.